Hi, Abby. Thank you. Well, thank you all for joining this webinar. As Abby said, I'm Carlo Borghi. I'm based in the London office of SKIM. I am very much involved in the R&D process of SKIM, the creation of new methods and new techniques. And today, I'd like to present to you one of the techniques that we have invented recently. It's a concept testing techniques that lets you consider all the possibilities to optimize to find the optimal product concept. Actually, the name of today's webinar is a bit of a misnomer, because I'm going to be mostly using examples from the package design world. I'm going to be using example of package design optimizations, but everything that I'm going to say about package designs is going to be applicable for concepts as well. But I'm going to give you more details about this later. So imagine we have a new product, this product called Product X. You wouldn't want to sell it like this. You would want to find a great pack design that really works, that really makes your product stand out. And this is not easy. If you think about it, creating a pack design, a great package design that really has impact at point of sale is a mix of art and craft. There's a part of art because you want something that catches the eye, that makes your brand stand out, that can really position the product and inform the consumer. And this is the type of work that you would want to do this. You would want the help of graphic designers, of creative agencies. But there is also a part of craft, and you also want to optimize the mix of elements, and you want to utilize the full potential of a creative design template. And this is maybe a bit more quantitative because you have to make very precise choices. You have to try to optimize the content of the package, of the content of what goes on the your package design. And maybe this is the part that would make you think of SKIM. What we're trying to do is to combine both art and craft to be able to identify the best package designs. That's not easy because once you start really to play with many different graphic prototypes, many different graphical blueprints, and you want to test many different implementations of them, you can end up with a very high number of possible combinations. Because if you think about it, there's a lot of elements that go into a pack design. For example, here we would have a color, the type of graphics that you have, which type of product description, which type of on-product claim or benefit statements, which type of logos you want to use. All in all, you have a lot of freedom. What we have done, we developed a very simple but also very effective approach that quickly drills down a wide range of possible combinations. So we start with a very large sort of space of potential package designs, combining art and craft. We combine art and craft in the sense that we have many different possible graphical concepts, many different possible implementation generated by a graphical designer, and we break them down. And for each element of this, of these prototypes, we specify many different variations, so that we have a lot of freedom to identify the best pack design. Then we use a convergent procedure that involves consumer opinions to find the recommended concept or set of concepts. And on top of that, we're also going to find the score levels that indicate the performance and the impact on purchase intent of each single pack design element. So this is the most technical side of the presentation, and as you're going to see, it's not really that technical either. Anyway, so this is what we do. Let's start with we are in a parameter space. In which we have many different possible implementations of the package design for one product. What we do is collect 11-point scale purchase intent measurements for different pack designs in this space. Once we have enough observation, we run a regression, and we're able to identify the impact that each of these elements has on purchase intent. And then what we do is we start dropping bottom ranking levels. So we drop those items, those claims, those pictures, those logos that don't have a positive impact on purchase intent. And this way we restrict the parameter space. And then we start all over again, collecting more information and try to identify what really works and dropping those elements that don't have a positive impact. So this looks very nice. Seems very simple, surprisingly simple. Nice. So does it really work? And yes, it does work. It works in theory, it works in practice. It works in theory in the sense that we tested this algorithm on simulated data, and we're always able to identify the optimal pack design. So this means that the algorithm is working, it's a correct algorithm, it does what it's expected to do. But this is sort of our homework. It's not very interesting for you. What's mostly interesting for you is that in practice, we tested our algorithm on a product that is currently on the market. That's a product you see on the left, Frontline Plus. We were able to improve on the current package design, and we saw that what came out of our algorithm was as good or even better than what communication experts would generate. In the course of this presentation, I'm going to give you more details about the test that we have run for this specific product. However, keep in mind that none of the information that we share today is confidential. We did not work with Mario, the owners of the Frontline Plus brand. We just use simply this picture of their current product that is currently available in all stores. This is just for you to keep in mind. So let's start. As I was saying, yeah, we tested the effectiveness of our approach on a product in the pet care category. So this is, for example, one of the new pack designs that we have tested in our study. Looks pretty nice, but what I would like to, the reason why I want to show it to you is because I want to show you how it's broken down in different parts. So you see that, for example, here we have a cat picture. We specify 15 different variations of the same cat picture. We have a benefit statement. We specify different variations of this, and etc. Same thing for all the other elements on the pack. Once you put it all together, you see that you have an incredible large number of potential combinations. You have over 100,000 combinations. And this is really a lot. Usually when clients come to us to do, for example, a package design test or a concept test, very often they come with a very limited number of concepts, and what we do is, what they ask us to do is validate the value of this concept, check if they're really good. What we do here is slightly different. Because we have so much freedom, we're really trying to optimize the pack design. So we're exploring and trying to figure out what really works best. This is just to give you an idea how the algorithm works. So respondents who take part in the survey have to answer purchase intent rating questions, and each loop, each new batch of consumers helps to reduce the number of possible designs. So we start from 100,000 plus, and we arrive to 18 optimal designs at the very end. So now I would like to show you the actual results of our test. So as I told you before, we tested our solution was better than the current package design and the expert opinion. So this is what we tested. So we have on the left the current pack design of Frontline Plus. In the middle we have 3 pack designs created for us by communication experts. And on the right you have 4 pack designs that were identified by our algorithm as the best. On the next slide I'm going to compare the performance of the current pack design and the performance of the designs identified by our algorithm. This performance is measured on purchase intent, on absolute purchase intent scores. So here we go. You see in blue it's the performance of the best designs identified by our algorithm, and in gray you see the performance of the current pack design. And you see that we do better than the current one. So this is already a great result. We're able to do better than what was already out there. And the scores that we get from our algorithm are statistically significantly better than the scores of the current pack design. Also, what is nice is that we don't just get one really good pack design, we get 4 of them that are very close to each other in terms of scores. So if for some reason you're not able to go ahead with the best one, because of legal reasons, because it maybe will be like a very big departure from what your brand is currently doing, you have a lot of other options that you can still implement. On the next slide, I'm going to show you, I'm going to compare the performance of our pack designs and those generated by experts. So here we go. In dark blue, you see the pack designs generated by experts, and you see that we have 3 experts, and you see that what jumps out at you is that expert B did apparently better than what we did, getting a higher purchase intent rating. However, the difference between the 2 scores is not significant, so we're sort of tying. But you also see something else that is very interesting. You see that expert A got a purchase intent score that was even worse than the one of the current package. So this tells you that if you only consult experts, they're going to try to do their very best. Quite often they're right, but sometimes they're not. And you have no way to know that. If you only have asked expert A, you would have to go through a validation type of exercise to check if the recommended package was any better than the current one. The good thing about our algorithm is that the validation is embedded in the way the results are built. So you show that what comes out as the best pack design or the best few pack designs already contains some validation about its its impact on purchase intent. Moving forward, we're almost getting to the end of the webinar actually. We were able to identify the best concepts, but you can also potentially optimize further. So I'd like to show you a bit more about what exactly is the output of our method. You get 3 main deliverables. One is an optimal concept or group of concepts with corresponding absolute purchase intent scores. Potentially you could have an Excel-based simulation tool where you can build different concepts and obtain as a result their purchase intent score. You would also get an understanding of which parameters drive preference. You would understand the relative importance of each of the tested variables. And optionally, you could also try to understand the reasons behind preference and identify ways to improve the best concepts even further. So in terms of, you will be able to understand the importance of different elements. So for example, you see on the left a graph explaining the importance of different attributes. So you will see that, for example, the cat picture and the benefits have a huge impact on the choice. So this helps you because it lets you know that in the future you should really focus on these 2 parts because they're the ones that really impact consumer's choice. Similarly, you will also be able to get some open-ended feedback, for example, about the benefits, try to understand why consumers really like a certain benefit statement. Furthermore, optionally, you could also try to go even deeper, to dig deeper and try to understand why do consumers like or dislike specific elements. So for this, you would use Clickable Concept. So you would ask consumers to click on those pack elements that they like and those pack elements that they dislike. And then you could also ask questions about why you like this pack element so much or why don't you like it. And this, of course, would help you to further improve the materials that you have tested. Very quickly, we can go through the conclusions. So what we've seen is that we have a very effective approach to identify an optimal pack design. The advantages of this method are that you only need to show one package concept to screen, so it's less exhaustive for respondents. You can handle a very large parameter space with many attributes and many levels. The validation is embedded in the algorithm, so the recommended concept was evaluated by many respondents and you get an absolute score of its effectiveness. You can target questions to the back, for example, to the best packages. You could have, for example, extra scores or try to get additional details by using why questions. And finally, during this webinar, I use an example from a pack design optimization problem. However, what is applied to pack designs can also be applied to concept, to brochure, to adcepts. For example, here in this case, you would see an example of a product concept. What you could do is test this product concept by changing continuously the product names, for example, the type of benefits that you want to communicate about different elements of this product, different ways to substantiate these benefits, or you can test different reasons to believe or different type of endorsements. So in this way, you'll be able to really optimize your product concept. And well, this marks the conclusion of the webinar. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, I'm going to be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Carlo. I think we do have some questions indeed from the audience. And if you haven't asked your question yet, please send it through now, or feel free to email us after. Our contact details are there on the screen now. But Carlo, the first question is, what are the differences between this technique and conjoint?
Yeah, this is a very good question. In my opinion, the main difference is that conjoint, choice-based conjoint, makes a lot of sense in those occasions in which you want to measure the performance of a product in a competitive setting. So you want to know if more people are going to choose your product than than the competitors. And this is because the only thing that conjoints really tells you is if one product is going to be chosen over the others. It does not tell you necessarily how much consumers like or dislike a product, absolutely. Furthermore, so in a sense, this method does not mean to replace conjoint. I want this to be very clear. This method is a better solution for specific type of problems. So, for example, for pack designs, optimization problems, or concept optimization problems, where you're not very interested in the competitive setting. You really want to optimize to find out your best move in isolation. So where you would want, for example, to explore a great variety of options to really find the best product concept that you can deliver. This also means that this method was really built keeping in mind that you have a lot of freedom. You can test very many combinations, which is something that conjoint can't really do. You have a limitation in how many attributes or level you can test in a conjoint setting.
Thank you, Carlo. I hope that answered your question. The next question, I think we have time for one more. We actually have two quite similar questions. So someone asked, what is the minimum sample size you would need for this methodology? And another asked, would this technique work in markets where it's hard or impossible to have large samples? I think these questions are quite similar. What do you think?
Yeah, they're very similar questions. It's what I would want to say in this example. I think we had a sample of 600 consumers, and we tested 100,000 combinations. There is no minimum sample size. It just depends on how many combinations you want to test. So if I'm thinking about, for example, healthcare applications where it's really hard to get, more than 60 or more than 80 or respondents. I mean, if you have those type of numbers, you're still going to be able to use this technique, but you're going to be limited in the amount of combination that you can test. But I mean, as a rule of thumb, if you have like around 100 respondents, you can still test a few hundred combinations, which is still a lot. But that said, I mean, this is a rule of thumb. It depends a bit on exactly you want to set up your research. But I mean, if you're interested in discussing this, just please reach out to us. We're going to be very happy to to discuss with you.
Fantastic, thank you. And I hope that also answered your question. And if we weren't able to get to you, we will follow up personally. Like I said, if you still have any questions now, please send them through or email us. I want to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar today. Please be sure to visit skimgroup.com/webinars with an S tomorrow to download this presentation and get information about our upcoming webinars. I will actually be sending everyone who is here today a thank you for coming, and as well as a link to where you can download the recordings and you can get the slides. You can also sign up on that website for our next webinar, which is going to take place on December 18th for the Americas time zone and 19th in the EU, so at the same time, where we will be discussing mobile conjoint analysis, and that's sharing the results of empirical comparative studies between mobile and traditional choice-based conjoint to determine if and when the results of the mobile choice-based conjoint will be valid for you. So on behalf of Carla and myself, I thank you once again, and we look forward to hearing from you very soon. Thank you. Goodbye.